to Success, full-time real estate investor here in Atlanta, Georgia. And as you know, on the Keys to Success, we interview local business professionals to discuss some of their keys to success in their business. Today, it is my absolute pleasure to welcome Mr. Haji Sal, who's a phenomenal marketing funnel expert here in the Atlanta, Georgia area. I met Haji a few years ago at the 10X Growth Conference, actually at the airport. I don't know if we were in Miami or Atlanta, but we were at the airport, we met, and have been doing business ever since. Haji, if you don't mind taking a moment and introducing yourself.
Well, pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on today, Ms. Lee. Yeah, my name is Haji. And what I do is I help people like build marketing funnels inside their business. Marketing funnels is basically like your online sales process, like the steps that you're going to take people through from advertising all the way to the point where they're giving you money and becoming a customer of yours. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do in a nutshell.
Awesome. I love it. And how long have you been in marketing? Can you tell us a little bit about your journey into becoming a marketing expert?
Yeah, definitely. I can definitely tell you. It started about 5 years ago. It started because I bought a course. Like at this point, I was working a job. I was working a job at Panera Bread, and I bought this course. Like it was $1,000. I got $1,000 paycheck, and then that same day, I took that $1,000 and I bought this course. And ever since, that course changed my life. So that course basically taught me about everything about like the online marketing space. And I just took that knowledge and I applied myself with a lot of friction, of course, a lot of trials, a lot of setbacks. But I just kept pushing, never gave up. And yeah, I was able to apply that course to the point where now I'm helping clients make over 7 figures online.
Fantastic, fantastic. And I know when it comes to marketing and funnels and all of those things, it can be complex at times. Is it something for you that has just come natural? Is it something like that you have always done, or just when you found out about it, it was just something that came natural to you?
I kind of consider like any sport, it's like a skill and you got to continue to develop it. You know, I play a lot of basketball, and like when I started off playing basketball, I really sucked. And one thing about it is I just kept playing, I just kept trying, I just kept working hard at it. And you got to continue to develop your skills. So like now I haven't played basketball in a long time, so I'm pretty sure when I go back, I'm going to be rusty. So it's the same thing with marketing. It's always changing, always evolving. So it's like I just consider it a skill, and I just try to be good at it. Try to be great.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And so I would say that's like one of your first keys to success is just continuously sharpening your skills in whatever area of business or profession that you could be in. Don't kind of think once you've learned it, but really continuously be a continuous learner. Is that something that you would say?
Yeah, 100%. And even more important for the people that's just not getting into it is that, you know, don't think that you're going to be good right out of the gates, right? So you got to like have a beginner's mindset, be willing to look kind of stupid, to do kind of stupid things or do things and make mistakes and everything like that. You know, they said like why kids play basketball better than adults is because like when kids are out playing basketball, they're not like worried about what other people are thinking. They're just out there doing themselves. So they usually pick up the skill much faster and much better than if somebody was to pick it up as an adult.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's super important. Don't overthink it. Kind of just go for it. Take the initiative and kind of learn along the way.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So tell me about, you're here in Atlanta. Where exactly are you from? How long have you been in Atlanta?
A great question. I'm actually an immigrant. I immigrated here in 2001 with my parents and I have 2 sisters and 1 brother. So we all immigrated here. We moved like straight to Decatur. We moved into like this very, very small apartment, small townhome here. And then ever since then, like it's just been a grind. My whole family grinds. Like it's all we know, you know. So it's like, you know, I pick up from my sisters, pick up from my father, my mother. So they instilled that work ethic in us. And, you know, so like for me, like I had my first job at 15. I had 2 jobs at 16, and I've been working ever since, you know. So like that was like one of the biggest blessings like in my life was being able to get a job early, to know that I don't want to work a job.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right.
So,
that's phenomenal.
yeah.
So you guys, where'd you move from?
Senegal. So I forgot to say that. Yeah, we moved from Senegal. It's like a very small country in West Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's definitely like I love that place with my whole heart. But you know, like most people won't see the beauty in it, but for me, I love it like with everything.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing. So
Good
from
story.
Senegal to Atlanta, Georgia, your family moved here and you were in a small apartment. And from there, you started working at a lot of jobs and then transitioned eventually into marketing and
Correct.
branding. And that's what you do currently. What would you say are some of your keys to being consistent in your current industry?
Wow, that's a great question. Consistency, once again, is a skill that has to be developed.
Mm.
One of the biggest things I can say like about being consistent with the big things is just being consistent with the little things, right? So like I just try to focus on doing the little things well, being consistent with like the very, very small things, the foundational pieces, which is like, hey, for me, it's like reading every day, journaling every day. And if I can be consistent with those little things, I can find that I can be consistent with staying on top of my industry, staying on top of my grind and everything else. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Wow. How important is accountability partners in your life? I attended an event this weekend,
Mhm.
the Ground Zero Summit, and a lot of the talk in that summit was having accountability partners. How important is that in your life? And do you think that a lot of people should have, or business professionals should have accountability partners?
Yeah, 1000% actually. Because sometimes it's not a good idea to be your own boss. Like for me, like when I first started trying to be my own boss, like I'm fairly young, like I'm 24 right now. So when I first started, I was about 19,
Mm.
and at that age, I didn't have any discipline. It was very very hard for me to do what it really took. You didn't have anybody pushing you. It's just you, right? And it requires a lot of self motivation. There's only so much motivation that you can have. And then like now I'm into like a really big venture now, and I did it with a partner. And having a
Mm.
partner is like the best thing I've ever done in my business career so far. Is because you literally have accountability with that person, and also you're exercising the mastermind principle. It's like you have someone you can give them an idea, they'll throw your idea back. You give them an idea, they'll give your idea back, and you'll make the idea just that much better instead of just being content with your first idea, because you can always make the idea better. But yeah, just the concept of having accountability, because sometimes I had accountability partners, but I had bad accountability partners, right?
Right. Right.
So like
And,
where
and
you,
that's
yeah,
and I don't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
no, so like you have an accountability partner where things are not too accountable. So it's always important. Like even an accountability partner where you pay money in that situation is better than just getting an accountability partner. So it's ways to do it and do it right, but definitely getting someone that's as motivated as you, someone that
Mm.
you could start a business with. I'll recommend that before getting an accountability partner, because that is the ultimate accountability partner.
Right, as
Yeah.
the business partner. Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, you can have accountability partners, but you want to have someone who's either, is driven or even more driven than you are, because
Correct.
it helps to keep you on track if things, and just to help you keep you accountable
Accountable. Yeah.
to the things you say you're going to do. And
Right.
that's super important. Now in my life, I'm reaching out. I know I have the Billionaire Businesswomen group and
Mhm.
other groups as well. And I'm reaching out in those groups and asking all the women in the groups, let's create different accountability groups in this so that women actually, complete the tasks that they put in front
Right.
of them. I know with me, working out is one of those tasks. And
Right.
I know you recently started working out, and I see you're working out every single day consistent.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely. Social media is the biggest accountability partner.
Right,
I was never a big fan of like putting what I was doing on social media.
right,
I was more like low key. I'm a low key type of guy. But recently, I was like, hey, why not?
right.
I had like a not near death experience, but I got hit by a car early January, and
Wow.
like that experience like completely changed a lot of things. And like I really seen how like life is very short, and I was like, okay, like there's a lot of things that you could do, but you've been putting on hold because you're worried about what other people would think of you and stuff like that. So going
Right,
through that situation just like opened my eyes to the point like it really doesn't matter what other people think, because
right.
at the end of the day, you only have one life. It's short. You shouldn't live it, worried about what other people would think, because that's, you're gonna have big regrets long term. So
Right.
yeah, so ever since I had that experience, I'm actually grateful for that experience now, because it really opened my eyes. And ever since then, I just stopped giving a care. To say
Right.
the nicest.
And I mean, I know for me, a lot of people, I have a big family, but some people in my family post, some people in my family don't post. And they look at me like, you post a lot. Like, how do you do it? How do you get comfortable with that? And it's that point of really not, it's me knowing that my goal is to be my best self. And
Right.
so I do it for me so that I can grow and then have my cup run, be full to help others become their best self. And so I do it with no judgment. And that's why with this show, we host it live, because it's like, I may mess up, I may stutter, we may have, but it's okay, because that's how you grow and get comfortable with you, is that imperfection, being okay with it's not always going to be perfect.
Exactly. Yeah, nobody's perfect. Even the best of the best, the best of the best of the best are not perfect.
Right. It's like we're human.
Right. So I even appreciate showing my human, like my not human life, but just showing my natural self, like my authentic self. I think that's been like, hey, I think it all starts like, I think something else that really helped me was this book called The Gifts of Imperfection by Dr. Brene Brown. And she talks a lot about that, like trying to be like put on this perfect act is like carrying like a 20-ton shield, right? You're always trying to act and be perfect. Like when you accept yourself, like your whole self, your imperfections, your perfection,
right?
You know what I'm saying? You really, you free up a lot of space in your mind to really start doing what you want to do, compared to you're literally holding a shield. So it's slowing you down in actuality.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. That's powerful. And speaking of books, how important is reading and in your life and just, taking in new content, new books?
Definitely. So like English not being my first language, like all through school, I didn't like to read. I didn't read my first book until like I was freshman year in college. So I didn't read or complete a whole book until the first freshman year in college. And I remember someone recommended a book to me randomly, like while on the train, and they said like, hey, they was like, oh, you should check this book out. It was called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. And so that day I decided to download the book. I downloaded it on my phone, and that was the first book I ever read. And ever since I read that book, I haven't stopped reading books since.
Wow. And Haji, just so you know, your camera's a little high. So if you could actually scoot it up a little, because it looks like, there we go.
Yeah,
you couldn't see me. You were kind of just, perfect. All right, there you are.
Thank you.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
Now I was saying that ever since reading my first book, I read, like, it was a very easy book to read. It was like 100 pages, and it was called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. It completely just changed everything. That's like when I actually like picked up a big business mindset. That's when I actually started to get deep into personal development before I got into business. Right. So that completely changed everything for me.
Wow.
I was saying like the biggest thing that changed it for me, because like when you're in high school or you're in school or whatever, they give you like a lot of books that are kind of irrelevant or not of your interest. So it gives you a whole negative feeling on books in general. Right. But there's so many different books on so many different topics, so many interesting subjects. Once you start to find a book that you like, an author that you like, reading books become really, really easy, really fun.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I love reading. It's kind of like, if someone said, would you like to go to a movie? I'd rather just sit and read a lot of books and like learn. So it's kind of nerdy that way. Right. But I know one of the books that I read, Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. When I first read that book, it was like, I mean, of course, I had to read it a few times over, but it was like there were so many magical nuggets, and the power of the words and just different things that you can learn within a book are powerful.
Definitely, 100%.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, reading books, continuous education. Let's talk a little bit more about the marketing funnels themselves and exactly what that means when it comes to branding and people, getting into branding. If someone was to come to you and say, hey, I need to set up something, what does that look like?
It just depends on the business, like the business that they currently have. Marketing funnels are good for selling digital products and then also physical products. So like I know like right now, a lot of businesses are going to start making the transition from offline to online, because offline, clearly you see that online businesses are thriving during this situation, and offline businesses are taking a big hit. So, basically a marketing funnel, a lot of this word probably gets thrown around a lot, but it's just basically a sales process. Just like step 1, the person sees this. Step 2, the person sees this. Step 3, the person that goes here. Step 4, the person is a customer, right? So it's just basically outlining those steps and just like, what is the path? What is the journey that a customer would take, from the moment they see your profile to the link that they hit. And then once they hit that link, are they going to a page? And then if they go to the page, are you asking them for their email address? Then once you get their email address, what are you sending them? So it's like all the content from that first click all the way to the point where they're becoming a customer. So yeah, like for
Wow.
me, that would be the first thing. I would kind of just look at a person's business and see like what their goal is, like what is the end goal and where are people starting from, and right. And
Right.
it's not a lot of different marketing funnels. It's kind of like trial. There's already like trial and proven funnels that will work for like pretty much any business. So you just look at the business, what kind of product they have, and then you could kind of choose which funnel to go with.
Wow. Now, I know recently, because I've always heard of Click-to-Funnels, I've been to several seminars and I see Click-to-Funnels everywhere. I've actually, I think, been to an event where Russell Brunson, that's his name, the one who created Click-to-Funnels. I believe at a growth conference, he was there and spoke on Click-to-Funnels. That's where we met.
Yeah.
But recently I've heard of like investor fuse and all these different things. How do you tell, when it comes to just marketing funnels and all these different ones that they may have, or the few that they do have available, how do you help guide your clients in that right direction to say, just leave it alone, let me be the pro, you don't need all those tools?
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Like you don't need all those tools. And I think that's the tools for a lot of people become a distraction. Right. I talked about this morning in a video I recorded where like distractions come in all shapes, form, and sizes.
Right.
So one of the things about the tools is that it can easily distract you from the main thing. Right. So like people just think that the tool is the sauce. Like you just put the tool up and you're good. It's not the case.
Right.
What's most important is like what you're going to put in the tool. It doesn't matter what tool you use. You could use WordPress. You can use, it doesn't matter what the tool is, it doesn't matter what the median is. It's about what you're putting in there. So that's what you want to figure out first, like the substance, the sauce that you're going to put in these tools and these pages before you start to go, obsess over these tools and these pages. So I would say like the tools are like the last part of the equation.
Exactly. And I know recently I signed up for Infusionsoft just to see what it was all about. And so this morning, funny enough, I had a meeting with the lady and she's just going into all these things of what Infusionsoft does. And I said, but ma'am, you don't even know what my business process is. Like you're telling me how to set up a funnel, but you don't even, you haven't asked me what I do. So I mean, like you said, to your point, it doesn't matter what the tool is. If the person doesn't even know what it is you do, or if you don't have clarity on what it is that you do, how the tool is somewhat irrelevant.
Phone blowing up today. I said must be a lot of deals coming through. Phone blowing up.
Wait, yeah, I have a cold calling team that's making calls right now, and when they have deal overflow or call overflow, it comes to my second line.
Okay, perfect. I love that.
Sorry about that.
No, I'm not apologizing. I'm applauding it. Like congrats.
Okay.
Phone blowing up.
I'm gonna have to turn that one down. Actually, it's supposed to be. I apologize.
No, you're fine.
Go ahead.
No, you're fine. Yeah, that's awesome. I remember we were helping you put together a funnel for your real estate business.
Right. And you're actually helping me now. You're in the process of helping me now with just the branding and the sales funnels of things as well.
Correct. Yeah, that's awesome.
And I think that's to my point on why I even asked the question, because a lot of times I'm asking the question for the audience, but I'm also asking for myself, because at times I'm like, well, what does this tool do? Well, what is this? And, then you get to that point of learning. It's not about the tool. It's about the understanding of what it is you do and having that process actually mapped out with clarity so that whatever tool it is, whomever handles it, they at least have clarity on what your vision is and what you're trying to set up.
So true. Especially if for experienced businesses and new businesses, but experienced businesses and new businesses, but I believe that like pretty much anybody can create a funnel. It doesn't matter like what kind of niche, what service you're in. You can build an online sales process no matter what business that you're in. Like lately, I've been creating a lot of content helping people take their offline business online because like right now they clearly need it. So yeah, it's definitely important to get with the times to evolve your business, because I'm sure like there's a lot of restaurants like they had the opportunity to sign up for Uber Eats 6 months ago and they said, no, I don't want to sign up for Uber Eats. I just want to keep doing things the way I'm doing them. Right. I'm pretty sure they're regretting that decision now.
Right. They're signing up now.
they're signing up for Uber Eats now and Postmates now. So it's definitely important for any kind of business. Like, hey, you need to understand online, right? The world is online, like Facebook, YouTube. There's so many people on these channels now. It's actually crazy because everybody's on their phone now and people are not going anywhere. They're on their phone. They're online.
Right. Exactly. And if you don't understand online, connect with someone like yourself who does, and that way you can actually go further in your business
Definitely.
and learning from a pro rather than, trying to figure it out and, and
Yeah,
wasting a lot of time when you can just connect with the right people and grow your business in a proper manner.
definitely. Not for me. It's tons of resources out online. Like you're one
Right.
Google search away, literally.
Say that again.
I said you're one Google search away, literally, from any question that
Hmm.
you have. So yeah, there's so
Right.
much
For sure.
resources online. You could ask Google and you'll figure it out. So yeah. And I'm always
Right.
open. People can DM me. I'm willing to answer any question.
Okay. And if someone wanted to contact you with regards to any questions, what's the best way of getting a hold of you?
Yeah, best way to get a hold of me is through Facebook. Actually, my personal Facebook
Okay.
profile. So maybe we could just link that in the comments.
Okay. Awesome. We'll do that. So we've spoken about, fitness and marketing and branding. What would you say are some of your true key foundation, keys to your success?
Uh, mindset. Mindset is very, very important, and my spirituality. So it's very like right now I'm currently fasting, because it's
Okay.
the month of Ramadan. So that's
Right.
that's that's number one to me first and foremost is my spirituality and my mindset.
Okay.
Because I tried everything else, but nothing works or feels better than keeping a proper mindset and keeping high spirits. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So
that's what I would say.
and so you were saying spirituality is the first pillar of your keys to success. What would you say is the next thing after spirituality and faith?
Um, I would say like there's something I have on my wall right here. For me, it's mindset would be like spirituality being number one, mindset being number two. Um, you know, if I had to drill it down to like two words, it would be focus and patience. I
Mm,
think those are the two biggest words. Like everyone's greatest enemy is distractions, and
right.
I said distractions come in all shapes, form, and sizes. Like, and this current virus is distracting people from a lot of things. So
Right.
many people set New Year's resolutions. Though it's very unprecedented. It's like completely unseen before or haven't been
Mm,
through it, but it's definitely a distraction. So it's so many like
right.
it just shows that distractions just come in all different shapes, form, and sizes. So I've been practicing like being quicker to identify what a distraction is and being quicker to get back
Mm,
to my focus because it's impossible to probably stay focused 100% of the time. So
right.
focus is
And
number one for me. Yeah.
can we talk a little bit about distractions? Because even in my business, and with having several different businesses, distraction is there. How
Right.
important, I mean, like, what are some of the things that you do to remain focused on things and try to avoid the distractions?
That's a great question. Uh, I would say something that helps me deal with distractions is having a good morning routine, right?
Mm,
So being able to wake up in the morning and control how the morning goes
right,
is very, very important. It's because like how you're just kind of getting yourself into that like state, like, okay, I'm focused in the morning. And it's usually how you start off your day is how the rest of the day is going to go. You started it off bad, you're probably going to have a bad day. You started off
right,
good, you started off good, you're probably going to have a good day. And also the
right,
key to having a good morning is having a good night. So it's like
right.
those are the two things I try to control: my morning and my night. So that's really important to me to like be able to not to stay focused throughout the day. Yeah, so definitely.
And do you have like a checklist or something that you kind of follow throughout your day or through with your goals?
Yeah, definitely. So like for me, I just try to do one thing a day. That's the easy way to stay
Okay.
focused. That's the easy way not to get distracted. I just,
Okay.
I just try to like I wake up or like the night before I'll write down just one thing or one project that I'm working on, and then I'll
Mm,
just try to focus on that because
wow.
it's good. I'm a big believer in momentum. So it's
Right.
hard to get momentum in 10 different things, right? This
Right.
is this is something I fell prey to when I was playing sports in high school.
Right.
I tried to play every sport. I wrestled, I played football. I was too big to play basketball at the time. I
Right.
tried to play baseball. I tried to play all these different sports, right?
Right.
I never really got good at one or never gained momentum in one. Had potential in all of them, but never got
Right.
good at one. So I was, like you can't get good at doing five different things. You got to choose. and you got to
Right.
sacrifice, right? And choosing means like sacrificing other things, right? So
Right.
that's what I would say. Like, you really have to sacrifice a lot, because I had to sacrifice a lot to be able to, you know, sit at a computer, because some days I sit at my computer 13, 14 hours. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of sacrifice. You got to choose TV off, unplugged.
Right. Unplugged.
Off.
Exactly. My TV hasn't been on in ever. I mean, it's
Yeah.
very, I treat myself maybe once a month to Shark Tank or Real Housewives. And that's very rare. It's like, it doesn't happen. As I'm sitting there, I'm like, this is absolutely stupid. I could be reading a book. This is dumb. I'm not doing this. Wow. So, I mean, I want to thank you for taking time out of your afternoon to share some of your keys to success in your business, some of your keys to success when it comes to marketing, and just, you know, some of your keys to success when it comes to focus, because a lot of times, you know, we need help. A lot of people, we need assistance in all of those areas. And that's one of the main, you know, reasons for me starting the Keys to Success show, is to not only help myself, but to help as many people along the way to understand the keys to success in business professionals' lives, such as yourself, and hopefully they take something from it. I know, before we go, is there any last words that you'd like to say to our viewers?
The biggest message that I kind of preach to myself is just patience. Like, patience is a skill as well. And, you know, no matter like what anyone might be going through, no matter, like, I know times are hard for a lot of people now, you know, biggest thing is just to exercise a lot of patience, you know. So that's what I would say. Just work on your patience muscle, and yeah, no matter what it is, it shall pass. And, you know, a new day is coming. So yeah, work on patience.
I love it. Awesome. Well, I want to thank you, Haji, for taking time out. Say that again.
Thank you for having me on. Appreciate you for having me on.
Oh, no problem. No problem. I want to thank you.
Not a word.
Huh?
I said appreciate you for having me on, even though I know appreciate is not a word, but I just always say it.
Is it not a word?
Now, apparently it's not a word, according to Apple.
It's over in what?
According to Apple.
I have no idea. So, let's see. Cynthia, I want to thank everyone for tuning in today. We have Christina Ormsby, Elizabeth, Jessica, Ayana, Jennifer, Jessica again, Jarvis, Paul, and on Instagram, I want to thank all of you guys for tuning in. Maxwell and all of the other names that are there. I want to thank everyone for tuning in and for all of your kind comments and things that you guys are saying. Haji, I also want to thank you for taking time out of your afternoon to speak with us and speak with my viewers here on the Keys to Success show. Until next time, it is your girl, Miss Lee, tuning in live. Remember, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Keys to Success. And of course, we will be back again on Friday with another power couple where we will discuss some of their keys to success. And on Fridays, we always spotlight power couples, which I think is really unique. But yeah, you guys tune in every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Until then, it is your girl, Miss Lee. Have an absolutely amazing afternoon. Bye, Haji. Thank you.
Thank you.